Brilliance Audio presents the unabridged recording of Miller's Valley by Anna Quindlen, performed by Brittany Pressley. Perhaps home is not a place, but simply an irrevocable condition. James Baldwin. Prologue. It was a put-up job, and we all knew it by then. The government people had hearings all spring to solicit the views of residents on their plans. That's what they called it. Soliciting views. But every last person in Miller's Valley knew that just meant standing behind the microphone set up in the aisle of the middle school, and then finding out afterward that the government people would do what they planned to do anyhow. Everybody was just going through the motions. That's what people do. They decide what they want, and then they try to make you believe you want it too. Donald's grandfather was at every meeting, his hands shaking as he held some sheets of loose leaf he'd been reading from so long that they were furred along the edges. He carried a big file with him everywhere, even when he went to the diner for breakfast. Early on, he'd switched out the original file for the accordion kind because the first one got too full. But it was full of the kind of stuff old guys pull together. Newspaper clippings with uneven edges, carbon copies of letters 10 years old, even the occasional sales receipt for a sump pump or a new well, as though someone was going to be inclined to pay him for all the years he'd spent fighting the water. I always wondered if they wrote him off because his name was Elmer. The government people talked a lot about the future. Elmer was such an old guy's name. A piece of the past. The best we can do is make sure we get as much as we can out of the bastards, Donald's grandfather said at what turned out to be the next to last meeting. There's no need for that, Elmer, my mother said. She meant the profanity. She was as interested as the next person in milking the government for money. A lifetime working in hospitals had shown her the wisdom and the ease of that. She was upright, but not stupid. My mother was a person of stature in Miller's Valley. She'd lived there all her life. Her mother had raised her and her younger sister Ruth in a one-story, three-room house at the edge of the valley with a pitted asphalt roof and a falling-down porch, and when she'd married my father and become a miller...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?